Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the ESL 1 Battlefield 4 Winter Cup #1. I'm Mitch Leslie, joined by, of course, Alex Machine Richardson, and we are back. It's been a while, of course, since our Gamescom finals, and we've been starved for good Battlefield action since then.
Absolutely. I feel like this is, it's been a long time coming, ready to get our teeth back into what Battlefield 4 has to offer. And I even just saw the teams themselves are saying, finally, we get to go back into the season. Yeah,
speaking of which, we've seen quite a large amount of changes from these teams sort of in between seasons. Obviously, the Go 4 Cups have still been going. Guys like, Milos Semetic and that have still been diving into those most weekends. So there have been games happening. But yeah, a lot of changes around some of these teams. Some of our bigger teams. Fnatic's still untouched.
Surprise.
In more ways than one, I guess, if you think about it. But a lot of these other teams have gone into a bit of a mixed mode.
Yeah, I think it's been a case of, okay, the same team has won it 4 seasons running. Everything we've tried doesn't work. Why don't we mix things up? I'm pretty sure that's the mindset a lot of these teams have, is because, like, if you keep hitting a brick wall, you basically need to find another way around it. You know, you need to find a different tool, and they're trying it with different rosters.
So whatever permutation they sort of can find of a team, hoping that it works. But our first match tonight is going to feature Elite, or 1337, going up against InFamous. Now, maybe not a name people are familiar with, but it is full of familiar faces.
Yeah, I was immediately my attention was drawn to InFamous, and then I was like, hang on a second, who's 1337? Looking over it, it is a pretty stacked roster. I think we can go through it now because it's one that you'll most definitely be recognizing a few of those names.
Absolutely, of course. So we've got David 2K6, who had a season off, was more of a manager for Epsilon. Yeah. Safe is in this team. Enter Q's coming across from Penta, or previously Maximum. Zam coming across from InFamous, so he's going to be playing up against his old team. And Smash U's in game here as well. He wants us to call him Virep. But for you guys at home, so you know,
so it is Smash U.
It is Smash U.
We have confirmation.
Classic Victor, always pulling the jokes. But of course, and InFamous as well have had some changes, of course. With Zam leaving the team, they've had to replace him. Hysteria coming in there from Epsilon, an XS case, so that's an interesting change for him as well. And Zuzu is also being brought into the lineup for InFamous, a player we don't know too much about.
I feel like I've seen Zuzu play for like Begenius in another French roster, so I feel like maybe he could have been the shining star for a French roster. I could be making that up, but his name does ring a bell for maybe a different French team in the Battlefield 4 scene. But we should probably turn our attention to the game in hand. I mean, we have 3 maps ahead of us, and it just feels so crazy to be able to start talking a little bit more about Battlefield. So, I mean, starting over on Gormand, then progressing into Dawnbreaker, and Paracel will be our decider if we need it.
Yep, Gormand Railway, in fact, is just about to get underway now, if I'm not mistaken. We'll jump in a moment. Gormand Railway used to be the draw card for Fnatic. They love to play that map, and not a lot of teams could sort of deal with them on that one. Last season, towards the end of the summer season, we did start to see Epsilon pick up Gormand a little bit more often. They sort of started going towards that one. In a meta, I guess you could see where teams like Penta or Maximum were going for like the Hainan Resort kind of thing, where we're trying to play that kind of style.
I absolutely love Hainan Resort, and I feel like I've only casted it like 3 or 4 times. It really has been a rarity so far. In the previous season, of course, it is still squad obliteration. I think there's a whole lot of growing to be done in this game type. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot to change throughout this season from what we saw last season. A lot of people kind of just applied their old kind of conquest strategies around squad obliteration. I mean, some teams fell, some kind of rose from the ashes, but I think we're going to see a lot of growth in this season.
That's right. As we go from strength to strength, and these teams start to build on their understanding of how the game type works as well. We saw, we kind of harped on it a bit, but last season smoke started to become in vogue, and now, of course, we've had infrared sights have been banned. They can't be used because you can see through that smoke, and it does render it effectively useless. So that's been a recent ruling now. So
more iron sighting.
That's right. Yeah,
so we're going to be seeing more iron sighting. But also, I think you've touched on smokes, but I can't really highlight how important they are, because it was something me and Jason, I remember just sitting there going, please God, use smokes. The 2 top teams, they're literally the best 2 teams at the start of the first season, were the only ones using smokes, because it makes such a difference when it comes into pushing objectives, defending objectives, any part of this objective-based play. I mean, it's great that we're going to be seeing hopefully more strategic play.
And we are looking forward to some more adaptations.
Oh, we're going in.
We're going to jump into game now. Of course, countdown is down to 10 seconds, so we'll be in there in just a moment and see this first match, of course, between Elite, as we're going to call it, and InFamous there. It's going to be a brilliant one here. Bit of banter in the chat, but that's all right. So, going to jump in, of course, and roll out with old mate Smashy here, or Virep, as is on your screen. at the moment. And we'll have to see now how these teams go for this one. We know obviously on this map, the bomb being located up on that hill can be hard for teams to push towards. There's always a scrap there. And this game won't be any exception now. Already pushing in, some evolution already occurring here. And Safe just around the corner. The setup.
Yeah, so kicking this one off, it's going to come down to who goes for that early aggression. Already you're going to be seeing that battle for the bomb. 3 versus 2, it does seem. And, oh, actually, Jose's taking a whole lot of damage. He's taken down to 19 points of health. Does manage to get away with his life, though, and is going to be bringing that health back up. Only one engineer class so far on the battlefield. It's going to be Zam who is running that one. And First Blood is drawn. Jose, after his regen, does find the first frag.
All right, so not really much to write home about at this stage. Safe kept himself back, tried to get the kill, but Kremer couldn't be able to get on towards him now, and it's a decent start right now, of course, for InFamous. They're just trying to work on towards this one. Still with 4 on the field, and now Penta, or Enter Q, should I say, is going to get pushed onto David and Zam. Last 2 standing here. Zam is very much just sitting back here. Does have the law in hand, firing that one as well, but bomb in hand here for InFamous.
Okay, so with the bomb in hand, it is, of course, Jose, the man who found the frag, and now proceeding to try and get that bomb as close to the enemy bombs as possible. It does feel like he is kind of being locked out by just that one-man presence on towards that rooftop. You can kind of see already that he is leaning more towards his own side of the map. And it's going to come down to his teammates trying to find those entries.
Safe there. Again, just a lot of evolution happening here. They're trying to clean up those buildings and make it easy there. The bomb does go down. Jose hits the deck, and now it's been handed over to Zam.
Actually, and this is a stark contrast to what we saw from Jose. Look at him. He is just sprinting as fast as he possibly can. 4 smoke grenades in his hands as well. He's going to be able to completely cover up this site, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing, as the bomb is going to be going down in the shroud provided by that smoke.
That's right. So very, very hard to see through that one there, and it's an excellent start, of course, now as Leet do get that bomb right on down here. You can see shots coming through over the middle. A lot of red skull and crossbones here as well, and geez, they're just getting completely spawn trapped here. InFamous doing well. Safe goes down. A squad ripe as well. It's just Smashu that's standing at the moment. And he is nowhere near close enough to be able to assist.
So successful from Zam. Wasn't the necessary backup that really was required in order to get that down and to defend it, rather. I mean, you can get the bomb down pretty comfortably a lot of the time on your own. Like if you throw a smoke grenade, you get a frag, you're going to get the bomb down. But it's a whole other kettle of fish if you want to see that bomb go down.
Jose being aggressive here towards this building. Does know that someone is up there. See Kremer as well, grouped together. Bomb does go down. That was Hysteria hitting the deck here. Giselle will just probably hook around and try and pick that one up here if he can. There aren't too many elite players in the vicinity as they do try and cross the street now. David out in front, shots ringing through. Giselle going to pick up Safe, but still, David picks up the bomb here. And Elite are off to a start. They've only got 3 players on the map right now. InFamous still with 5. They're holding well, but David will still make a run for it regardless.
I don't think he's going to be finding too much success here. Oh, there's going to be babysitting there coming in from V-Rep or Smashu, and that's going to be a big frag from him. The bomb continues to run away then. This is going to be a potential plant if he chooses to do so. David is taking the long route though because he is under constant pressure. I think he realizes that better the bomb in his hand than in that of the enemy. But he's getting hunted. Whoa.
A lot of InFamous players very, very close by. Now David does go down, in fact, to a law shot here. So InFamous with the players on the bomb will be able to pick that one up and start to make their move. They are deep in their own territory right now. So a squad wipe, or for them to be caught by surprise at this moment, could be dangerous. But they will start to make their way across the road here. Zuzu in the house, bomb in hand, just trying to, I guess, pave the way for the rest of his team to push up.
Okay, Zuzu then, the new addition, is going to be kind of put in the driving seat of the round, as he's going to be the one trying to manipulate that bomb towards the side, or at least just keep it out of enemy hands for now. David's the one that wants it back, and he's pretty damn close, just 30 meters and closing, as he is on the hunt. Zuzu gets the better of him though, and that's a big play from the newcomer.
It's a good hold. And now Zam up on top of the building there, up against his old team here. Definitely a grudge match if I've ever seen one. He's going to try and make the shots from the top of the building, but Zuzu will pick him up. He's doing very, very well so far. He held the bomb well. We'll have to see. That is had been reset, I think, so they haven't actually managed to get a play on that one at this stage. Where's the bomb? Yeah, it's being reset. All right. Tony in the building?
No. Tony's one of those players who I've always had a good eye for sometimes these kind of crazy rounds, but also he's usually one of those more passive players. You can see a prime example of that right now. He is the one that is just holding it steady in the building, trying to push around, desperate to find just one that is going to be good. That's now 3 players down for Penta. Oh, excuse me, not Penta. 1337. You can see Enter Q still donning his old tag. And now with the bomb starting to respawn any second now, it looks like they are going to be battling for control of the north side of the map.
Into Q now towards the top of the building. David does take down Jose. Still, it's been very, very hard, I think, at this stage for League to actually steamroll over the top of InFamous. They're moving the bomb, they're being proactive, but they haven't really got the kills to back it up, and they never seem to be able to safely get it down. Always seem to be getting caught somewhere in between now in Europe. Again, we often see this. He's sitting back, just trying to stay safe if he can, while his team will push forward and just try and clear things out. This sort of convex shape as they move, and David can throw a nade over. Just try and keep InFamous quiet here. Nice double kill there from Safe. We'll start that ball rolling.
Yeah, and I mean, if you guys are new to the game mode, or if it's been a bit of a while, we can remind you, of course, that frags, they can come few and far between. They're not necessarily always going to be as important as one another. The bomb going in, though, from Smashy. This is big. He's going to be able to get that down pretty safely as well. And now, that's a very vulnerable site as well. A could be held from so many different angles. I'll come back to my point in a minute, because now the question is how quickly can they try and force a defuse? And it looks like one of them is trying right away. There's no cover there. He's going to be getting this. Oh, it's Kremer. He's just punching the digits. Oh, catches the law from Enter Q. Second defuse coming in. I don't think they're anticipating this.
I'm not sure. Yeah, they stacked up two players there. Tony on the right side of the bomb this time to actually avoid the splash damage coming through. And he will be able to get the defuse. Man, I don't know who that was. Was that Kremer who got killed by the law? He bounced. That was yeah,
but there were 3 extra rockets thrown after that, and somehow Tony evaded them.
Yeah, it was behind the bomb site. I guess it must have worked out from there, but there goes the trade. Safe comes in, gets 2, but Giselle will pick him up in response. And he does have the bomb on him now, but again, in his own territory, has to make his way out. Only 2 teammates, now 3 as they spawn back in.
Okay, trying to build off this then. Let's look at that extension from Enter Q. You can see he's going to be on... Oh, he had a great eyes on the hillside. Not going to happen, though, because Zuzu just too damn good. He's sitting at the top of the scoreboard for his team. 10 frags. First man to hit double digits here on Goldman Railway. And let's see if Smashu can do anything about it. He is... Oh, he hasn't got good eyes on towards that A site. He needs to kind of try and keep that bomb as distant from it as he can. It's not like Zuzu's going to make it easy, though.
No, Zuzu with a good game so far, but that's a good 3-piece coming out here for 1337. Hysteria will spawn back in, but Giselle, for the most part, was left on his own. He gets gunned down as well. Now, ex-Epsilon player Hysteria going up against his teammates also. He's the last man in the squad, waiting for those spawns in, and that bomb should be planted quite quickly. David will get it down, try to back away.
Oh my god, he's airborne! Somebody watch out, there's a body coming back down to earth with a pretty high velocity. Now, exchange of rockets, and Zuzu's the one to catch it, takes it straight to the gut. As we are going to be seeing a whole lot of plants so far in this game, Mitch. It feels like we've seen plant after plant after plant. The pace has picked up.
After that almost squad wipe as well from League, they definitely were wanting to come forward on towards that one. A lot of aggression from both these two teams. These laws, I don't think I've ever seen so many direct law hits, honestly, in my time casting Battlefield. It's been ridiculous. And you can see both teams maybe with something to prove, maybe with want to make a statement here in this first map of this best of 3. Looks like the bomb might actually go up here. No! The defuse come in. Giselle's trying to get on that one here now, of course. Oh! No, he's going to go down! Of course, if you're defusing, it stops it. So you can't blow up while you're defusing. The MCOM can't be detonated, but that law to the head definitely shut down that glimmer of hope.
I think we've identified a real weakness in the blue side's A-hold, is because as soon as those walls are destroyed, defusing that is a nightmare. There's no way. I mean, you know, I guess kind of on the mirror opposite of that is that so is planting. So I guess once the bomb's down, you've got a good, comfortable location with a couple of laws and you're safe. But first one goes the way of Elite.
The harder a bomb site is to attack and plant, the harder it is to defend. It's kind of the way it goes. He wasn't even
a philosopher.
Thanks, man. Well, it's I mean, I guess that was taken advantage of there by Elite. They had that opening to get in there, and it's a damn good start for them as well. InFamous still, for the most part, with you know, a roster that they're aware of. 3 core players still here. Zuzu coming in. Hysteria gets aggressive towards Smashu, but no, as he tries to climb up to the top, David will pick him up. Bomb in hand with Kremer, though. He's got to be careful. He has to get down, but he gets taken out. I think it was Safe actually put the shot over towards him. We see the bomb scooped up very, very quickly by Safe, and it was only Zuzu for a while there. And that's going to be another opening here for Elite to try and get another plant.
Okay, actually, it's going to come down to what Giselle can do. He is the one man with the position in order to hold this. Fortunately, the squad spawn's coming in, so those numbers are starting to grow. But still, one down goes down. That was Fearless then. The bomb carrier himself doing the damage. Now it's Tony then, who has to do the dirty and try and keep this bomb from going down. He's got a prime position. That's big play from Tony. He's going to retrieve that bomb and get it as far out of dodge as he can.
Elite paid a lot to try and get a plant down there. They essentially almost squad wiped themselves, pushing in so aggressively. However, EnterQ is still in position, does manage to just hang on for a while, but Tony will sniff him out there. Now Smashing with 2 to deal with. No, too much for him. He does pick up 1 though in the process. But again, you see Elite throwing themselves at InFamous right now, just really trying to be that aggressive side. So far, InFamous's aim has held true. Kremer with the bomb. Nade comes in beautifully from Safe there, veteran of the game. He'll be happy about that one as well. He's having a good one. 15-8 as well. Now, it is halftime, comes up, and Leet, 1 MCOM in the lead.
Not a bad start by any stretch of the imagination. The way we described it last time, and I had a lovely paragraph me and Jason whittled away at to summarize the perfect way the scoring system works, but I'm going to go ahead and just simply say because they picked up 1, they're going to have to destroy 2 in order to pick up victory in this one. That's
right, so that does put a bit of pressure on. I mean, getting that 1 MCOM against you isn't the end of the world because you do need 2 detonations to end a half anyway. So the fact is that InFamous, they were going to have to do this either way. If no MCOMs were sort of done in the first half, they would either have to get 1 in the second half and bleed the clock out, or get 2 and try and finish it quickly. So
absolutely,
it's not the end of the world for them right now, but we're seeing so much aggressiveness coming out here from Leet. You know, it seems like InFamous for the most part can hang on to this one, but it's almost dexterity-esque the way they're always pushing forward, always getting aggressive. And of course, we know that worked quite well for the Brazilian side at our last finals at Gamescom.
Yeah, and the Brazilian side that seems to have come on leaps and bounds since we last. Keep an eye on the American side of things for the Battlefield ladder. They most definitely have been continuing down that path they started over in Cologne. It's of course Dexterity we are talking about, the very strong roster who managed to... I mean, I've never seen Fnatic work as hard as they had to in that final against Dexterity, and they seem to have kind of found their hit their stride quite quickly in squad obliteration.
And when you got players like Mort as well, who's not usually the loudest of the bunch, even Drunks to an extent, when they're yelling, you can see the sweat on them. It was hot at Gamescom. It was real hot. But you could still see that they were definitely pushed in that game. We had a mirror match in our grand final again. It was almost the same way that things happened in our spring Cup. But again, if you didn't see it, it was Fnatic who took it out again in quite impressive style. But that's not the story for now, of course. It is this newly formed mixed team, Leet, going up against InFamous with a couple of new additions of their own. And I don't know, InFamous, they've made it. They always seem to be at the finals. They always seem to be in that top echelon of teams, but never really had the I guess the killer instinct or the edge to really shake it up in those top podium places. Yeah,
and it intrigues me that they haven't gone crazy with the roster swap. Like they always, as you said, have kind of been towards the top side and definitely not mid tier. However, now they've only changed 1 player. Bringing in Zuzu, intrigued to see. I mean, he's already started to top frag. That could be that little bit of change, that little catalyst into seeing InFamous get into the real higher echelons of Battlefield 4 here at ESL 1. Though, kicking off into our second half then, let's see where this one takes us as Zam is looking to create an eye line through that building, completely decimating that right off the bat.
Yeah, notice that no engineer class being taken right now for InFamous. They just want to get in and fight and brawl it out as much as they possibly can. Hysteria tries to go for the 2-piece, but Zam will be able to pick him out. Let's see the old... I don't know.
Go on, Zuzu.
Call that one. He comes in obviously with his parachute to get the kill and gets the revive.
Feels very Action Man-esque, just coming in from the heavens with his paddles out. Not going to be able to get too much. Hang on, Hysteria does manage to get one and back away. Is pretty low on health, just flashing on 29. But the real main story here is Jazair. Bomb carrier extraordinaire, it seems, for InFamous.
Yeah, I mean, we see InFamous taking control of that top hill now, and they're starting to move the bomb down. Tony at the 4 right now, who'll also be running interference at the moment, trying to really spot out some of these Leet players now if they do push up aggressively safe. Trying to get up the stairs. Will he make it? No. He will be gunned down by Tony. Give himself a little bit of a heal and get back to it. InFamous just chomping at the bit right now. Now, giving a bit of Leet's medicine back to them. Trying to get up in their faces. Really trying to push the envelope here. Push the bomb forward. Now, Jazair trying to plant some shots coming towards him now. He's going to have to back away, but his teammates are on the side. Tony trying to get up and get aggressive there. So far, the kills are coming out for Leet. Bomb does go down.
And this is what worked for Link. This is exactly what worked for Leet. They got the bomb down, and that was an open site. This is where the laws come into play. Let's see if we get to see any engineer respawns, because that's the real question here, is because there's 3 dead, if they get the NG respawns, they can defend that spot a lot easier. It does look like we're going to be seeing rockets left and right. There is a man on the site, though. We can already see the laws coming on in. And God, there's just bodies everywhere. There's no way we can read that kill feed. It just keeps moving. The bomb has been defused, though. That's going to be Hysteria's. He managed to recover that and try and get the bomb back down.
That was just NTQ last man standing. It was almost a squad wipe again for Leet. That's not good news. And they're trying to make their way back, but the bomb is well and truly going to go down at that A site. Care of Hysteria very quickly scooping it up and getting the replant. And, well, I mean, in a sense, you kind of have to wait for your squad to spawn back on you here if you're Leet to make your way to try and take this bomb away. But still, time is absolutely of the essence right now. They must make their way across, but Tony will be standing in their way.
Yeah, and he's going to be doing more than standing. He's shooting. He gets one onto Smashu. He's going to get the revive as well onto Kramer. He's all over at this point. 7 minutes 30, and this could be the equaliser from InFamous.
Important positioning here for Enter Q, but he can't defuse from here. Did get the kill. Lord did brush past his ear. That will be an MCOM detonation if I'm not mistaken here. I don't think there's anything that can be done for Lee to get this one down. So InFamous, they make it 1 apiece. And this is what we were saying in the last half. They just need 1 more and they're pretty much done. Puts both these teams on even footing. Absolutely.
This is now a completely even game. The next MCOM is everything to these teams. It does give them a little bit of leeway, of course, InFamous. Now that they have got that first one, a second one will secure victory for them. Or rather, assuming that we see no more from Lee. Told you the scoring system can get a little complicated if I try and explain it.
We try to navigate it sometimes.
I'm sitting there just kind of slowly making sure I don't put a foot wrong. But anyway, back into the action, and it does look like that we are going to be seeing a bit of a slower pace from the Elite side, as that bomb's just going to be given a whole lot of rain of movement.
Yeah, Issy Safe has been pinned down on his own spawn by Hysteria. He was just holding on this rock. He knows approximately where the blue side are going to be coming from here, so he can just run so much interference from this position. He won't pick up that second kill there, and it's going to be Zam who's going to be able to get away by the skin of his teeth now. Law in hand, looking to just get a bit more holes in that building there. He sees the bomb. It was dropped down though. Ooh, he team killed David. Brilliant stuff there. Oh dear.
You can see that happening. You can see the frag coming in as well. That's really unfortunate. Either way, just again, the infamous bomb carrier, it seems, is going to be going for a plant over on towards this site. Did manage to get the bomb down on B. Not going to be happening this time because that support. This is actually a really nice position. We haven't seen too much of this fella on the rock with the. I can only assume it's going to be Zam or Enter Q. As both of them rocking that engineer class, and they've been. Oh, finally, he does get neutralized. It was Enter Q who did actually, excuse me, Zam. But the bomb went down in the meantime.
I mean, the thing is, it's a good spot, but this is also elite spawn, so it's just a lot about how much freedom they're being given over the map if they have to set up right next to their spawn. David's going to try and push out, though. He's going to throw an nade. A frag comes in his direction as well, and he's going hunting, and he will have his prize, of course. David takes down Jazair, and he's freeing up that spawn a little bit here, because with InFamous in that position, they're essentially forcing spawns to come from the bottom side of the map, which is frustrating to try and get up on towards that side.
This could be a defuse, though. It does look like they are swarming on towards it. I can hear the siren coming in. It's Zam. A couple of seconds. No one's dealing with it. He gets the frag through the smoke. ACW in hand. It was so damn close. But to the rescue he comes. And straight away the replant from Zuzu.
Still very impressive stuff. Just spamming in, hopefully, at least as far as he hoped, the right direction. Zuzu, though, gets a replant very, very quickly. Again, Leet paid a lot to get that defuse, and it left them without people to try and pick up the bomb and move it away. So same things happens. It's going to get replanted here. And, I mean, Leet have to keep coming forward, have to keep being aggressive, but they can't throw themselves away here. David trying to go for the defuse there. I think that was it the health pack on top to stop him defusing? No, not
He wasn't. Well, he didn't initiate it, that's for sure.
Seen that cheeky little that trick they do. It's quite funny, but the bomb should go off here. I really think the lead are going to struggle to get over towards this one here. InFamous may have locked it down.
Well, it was a squad wipe. That's, I think, going to be the main point, because they're all forced way back. Look at those spawns. They're all hideous. And we are going to be seeing, I think, another bomb go down, and successfully by InFamous, as the B site is no more.
Now it is first map. It's going to be going over towards InFamous there with a great comeback as well. They started a little bit sloppy. And Elite, you know, going really aggressive. They seemed like they didn't know how to respond to those sort of pushes coming forward. But then they pulled their socks up. They got themselves in the game. And this is the InFamous that we are used to seeing. They will completely deconstruct some of those less experienced teams, or less cohesive ones at least.
Yeah, really, really good to see, actually, that there was a comeback possible. The first thing you said, literally the first thing that came out of your mouth at the end of the first half was, yeah, second half could change everything. And it absolutely did. I mean, it was good to see the same meta establishing itself on Gorman Railway. Let me try and say that properly. Gorman Railway. There we go. Nice. Over on the blue side, that B site was the most vulnerable. Excuse me, the A site was completely vulnerable. Like, once that's leveled, that is almost a guaranteed plant and destroy, because it happened in the first half, happened in the second, and exactly the same circumstances as well. You get some rockets, that bomb is safe.
And we've seen, this is one thing we've seen as well, and actually something that happened a lot on Dawnbreaker, when we saw Penta often go for this map in our last season, is that always the laws over towards a bomb site, get the splash damage done and interrupt that person who's trying to plant or defuse. So, I mean, opening those up as well, using the law to sort of break down the building around it, again, makes you a much easier target. A lot of those bomb sites are actually inside a lot of those buildings on Goldwood Railway, so that's you just got to blow it to smithereens. It's going to give you just as much chance of defending it as well, as opposed to them attacking it. So you need to, set things up as well. But we're seeing good use of those laws there. See, as I said before, I haven't seen them used so extensively for quite a while.
Yeah, and going into, as you said, Dawnbreaker will be our second map of this one. So we get to see the contrast, perhaps, of how these two teams separate themselves. This is a map that I have always considered a little bit of an odd one. I think there's absolutely no lie. There's no kind of smoke and mirrors. I've made it very clear that this is one of the odd ones for me because of the map's format. You tend to see very late pushes. Like, it will be 7-8 minutes of a couple of frags that mean nothing. That's essentially what you have to expect. And then you have 2 minutes of chaos. That's what was the case previously. I don't know if anything's going to change.
Well, I mean, what we often see as well on this one with the US spawn, so that's in the northern side, it's a little bit easier to secure plants in that area, because what you do, you can plant at B or C, we can show you in game in a second, and basically all you do is you can hold it from the other side of the street, which is a great vantage point, which is very, very easy to make shots, and obviously those laws are being quite extensively used. I'll actually jump in and try and show you guys what we've seen at least before. So you usually, you get a plant down here at bomb site B is quite common, and you can set yourself up over here on this balcony or in these windows here. It is pretty hard to kill you from here as well. Of course, a lot of the players are taking those closer range sort of SMGs and things like that. So once you get in here as an attacking team and you split off the bomb planter, you can definitely hold down that site quite nicely. So that's a strategy we often do see. And always the bomb, as it spawns towards the middle of the map. Smokes are important in this one because it's such a large area to sort of cover. These players, it's very, very hard to move from part of the map to part of the map unseen, essentially. You can spot each other quite easily. A lot of our players like to use this area as well, pushing up through here. Just gives you a little bit of protection from the rest of the street, but some of these sites are super hard to plan out as well. Like the A site here, for example, as well, has protection only from, well, the wrong side, really. If you're pushing out from the US side and trying to plant here, you're always at risk on either side. So pushing into the red side of the map does require you, in a lot of cases, to get that sort of squad ripe or get that distinct advantage in player numbers before pushing out.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that we're going to probably be seeing more of. Again, this is one of those interesting ones where there isn't going to be as many engineers. I think that's the kind of point you made, is because it's just so outside, so open. So what's the word? Open air, I guess. We'll go for that.
Sparse.
Yeah, sparse. There's basically a few obstacles. A lot of it is metal, which you're not going to be getting too much out of your engineer class. And the stuff where you will be seeing an engineer, it's very much the start of the round. You want to clear a couple of walls, and then you're good. You're back into the medic, and you're going to be rocking that class, rather the support, I should say, going on through. We are just waiting for a member of Elite. They did abandon us, and we're going to be hoping to see him back in the server soon. But, I mean, this roster, you've seen him play now just a little bit. A little taste of what Elite has to offer. Mitch, what are your thoughts?
Well, here's the thing, right? Like, it happens in all games, not just Battlefield, in all scenarios. You take a team of friends, I guess you could say, and you put them together, and you do have a bit of chemistry here, but still, it takes time. It really does take time to gel properly. These guys have done fairly well. I think they lost in the semi-finals of our last Go for BF Cup. So I think they were up there. They lost to Epsilon, I believe, in that semi. So they were quite competitive there. Obviously, Epsilon with a little bit of a new face as well, with the departure of Safe and David, at least from the managerial perspective. So, still the same teams are sort of on top, and Lead are trying to sort of, come up against that. NTQ coming in from Penta now. To my knowledge, I never knew that he was a player that sort of played a lot with, David and Safe. I mean, Safe was saying even at our last Gamescom as well, it's like, honestly, if we lose this or we don't make it to the grand final, I'll consider retiring.
Just kind of hanging up the mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and we had photos coming on Twitter as well. He and David went on holiday as well, and he's put up a tweet with a margarita in his hand or something, saying, "Oh, this is my taste of retirement." And I said, "Oh, like, are you done? Are you quit?" He's like, "Oh, no, I'll come back and play some more, but this is getting there, getting close to retirement." I'm like, okay, mate. No
worries. Yeah, all right. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of players in a lot of different communities in esports or just in gaming in general, where it's like, oh, just one more game, just one more season. I guess I could play. Oh, you need me? Yeah, all right. I do love it. Like, there's no denying that anyone participating at this level of the ESL 1 Battlefield has a passion for the game. There's no denying that. If they didn't have a passion for the game, they would not be here. They would not be here night after night trying to prove their worth in this ESL 1 tournament, though. 5 seconds there before we jump on into our second game, or rather second map of our first game of the day.
That's it, not too far away at all, so we are jumping straight on in here. Elite are going to be on the red side here. Of course, InFamous on the blue. Bomb always getting dropped right smack bang in the middle of the map, and we're going to have to see how these two teams fight it out to try and take control of that central point.
Okay, so let's see how things start off. Usually you're going to see a bit of a stalemate over towards the bridge area. Both players kind of completely hotly anticipating someone to make the first move. And let's have a little look who it is going to be. Asteria's actually going for an interesting position. It's going to enable him to cast his eyes a little further over the bridge, a little further afield, and does actually get a spot onto one. No bullets connecting, but the information gathered. And actually already first blood drawn. Fearless is the one to make it happen. It doesn't sound like they're stopping just there. Look at this. The bodies are piling up. 2 members of InFamous down already. Now that's not something I was expecting.
That's a good start here from Leet now as Smashy does take down Hysteria. Good push here. And this is a big map. If you lose 2 or 3 members, you're without them for a decent amount of time, even after they respawn. David going deep now and towards enemy territory, just trying to get some flanking shots on here. Seems confident, at least, that he can get this far down without being spotted out, and he may just be right. He's got himself up on towards that balcony. This is that vantage position I was telling you about.
And if they can get the bomb there as well, oh, he only gets one, takes Tony down. Crema is the one to finally shut that down, but control has been gathered. Look at this. Leet then already are considering picking up that bomb. They've been around it for so damn long, but instead they're choosing to just pick up positions where that enables them to frag a bit heavier, force a couple of respawns, and then if they can build again, this replicate what they had at the start, those 3 early frags, that's when you're going to get a bomb down.
Absolutely, and Hysteria is moving forward. This is the part of the map that you should be familiar with from earlier times. A lot of teams, like even in this format, playing around this one, the conquest times, that's right. Now we see Hysteria going to go down. His armor's going to be able to pick him up. The thing is here with this map as well, you've got these short-range rifles. They're not long-range at all. You can't kill each other across the map. You have to come forward to some extent here and just be aggressive. His arm moving towards the metal detectors here. He's going to get spotted out, even through the smoke. So like teams are always, it's a patience game as well. It's like, I know I can't kill them from sitting way back here and just doing some Overwatch, but is it too risky to push forward like David did before? Is it going to cost me and my team for me to make an aggressive push at this time?
Oh, most definitely not for David. That's an easy double as he snatches 2 members of InFamous' lives from them. Bomb did get picked up for a short interval though, and immediately InFamous bite back, and they're going to be running it as well. Jizair, again, this man has obviously been given the official title of Bomb Runner. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to live through that one, as it's David who gets his 3rd frag already.
Playing really well so far, actually, David. Obviously, InFamous had the players on the bomb before. We saw Safe was the last man to fall there. Now, David does fall down. Bomb in the hands of InFamous here, but they're being very, very careful about this push. This next 10 meters can be very, very dangerous now. Hysteria, he's going to go up first. He's going to try and secure that hilltop and use the rocks. A lot of time we see nades thrown back and forth around this area. See Hysteria, and there's a spot out.
Yes, I got a clue. Who was that? Completely unaware. It was Zam then caught with his trousers around his ankles, and David's the one that's trying to pull something back up. As he is going to find one. Doesn't get the bomb though, but he's well and truly aware that there is a man just across that eye line. Can't find a way in though. Not going to happen.
Even tries to knife the chain link fence there. It's never really going to work out. So Crema has a moment to relax here. Nade's surely going to come towards him. This is very standard. Lucky to survive that one. He's going to get pushed onto by David, though. And the bomb back in the hands of Lee.
I don't know if that was intentional, but by throwing that nade, by tagging him, he knew that the medikit would be being thrown out. He had his weapon. I was unprepared. That was a very nice kind of synchronized push, as unintentional or intentional as it may have been.
Who knows? I mean, David knew at least he had some damage down, or likely would have.
Yeah.
Great aggression. This is great. We haven't seen David play a cool role for his team for quite some time as well, and it's good to see he's still got it. There's no doubt about it now. Bomb, though, will be reset. It's going to be relocated now, so teams are thinking about how they're going to be setting up right now, and Tony does get the res on his teammate. Looking towards that palm tree, no spots there. Can be tricky to see your opponents if no one has actually spotted them out first. A lot of players are spamming that Q key, just trying to look around and hope to get it. And there goes Crema. He's coming forward now as well. Tony does pick up one. This is a nice little double coming out for InFamous here, and they're making their way forward. You can see that Penta are a little bit out of position right now. They're in no situation, I guess, to be able to defend towards that A side, and they're just now spawning in.
And they still haven't opted to pick up that loose bomb. It's going to get reset if they're not too careful. As this is going to become a case of how long can you wait before you pick it back up. Of course, it does reveal your location. There is 2 men just lingering right next to the bomb where they don't want to be revealing their squad's position just yet.
A lot of play around that one there. As ZTQ gets a cheeky little one on towards Hysteria. Susie drops some smoke here in this position. Does pick up David. Shots are coming in towards him now. He's just trying to hold on this position. The bomb is still dropped there. You can see that Lead have managed to even the ledger here and get InFamous down to 2. Hysteria will be spawning in right now. Safe pushing forward. Nades back and forth. A lot of them, in fact. They do know that the bomb is in hand right now for Jizair, and he's going to have to fight this one. He can't really back away. He will go get one while Hysteria helps him out with the second. InFamous might be able to push back through on towards this one. Nades coming in though, Jizair. Saw the smoke come down first and he knew it might be in a bit of in a bit of trouble
A spot of bother, indeed, as he is going to be trying to cross over through that smoke. That's lovely, though. Look at that wall of smoke. Doesn't need him to cross through the bomb. One problem, of course, by carrying the bomb is that they know exactly where you are. The enemy can see you, so that wall of smoke could only get you so far. But digits are being punched in by Jazer, and he's not going to be able to get it down without a fight. In fact, that's a big fight. 3 players go down from InFamous, and as soon as the oh, hello, Crema.
That's tricky.
This could be good. The defuse is coming in. They are still holding angles. He needs to peek right now. Gets it! Oh, that is glorious! Crema gets a double. David as well goes down. And now, all of a sudden, InFamous are going to be... I'm pretty sure that's a squad wipe. No, Hysteris and Zuzu got back in. I think they're too far away.
Didn't spawn in.
Oh, but if they'd have just got that squad spawn, if he'd have lived just a fraction of a second longer, what looked like an impossible scenario could have been won by InFamous, and I got a little too excited.
That was so cheeky.
Oh my God.
He always lost his share there. I mean, this is the thing. That's something we haven't seen before. He was literally goblining inside the bush.
Smart.
And you know plenty about that, to be fair. Like, that's a field that you're familiar with now. The spawns came in, but they did back spawn a few as well, just to make sure they could defend in case that that gambit failed. Yeah,
that was... I mean, he basically realized that the defuse time was going to be pretty short, so just playing that perfectly from Crema. Now, can they build off of that momentum? As it most definitely does look like someone's going to be trying to. It's Smashu who has the bomb this time, or Virep, as he seems to be attempting to rename himself. We're not going to allow that.
I'm not convinced, sorry.
Yep, nope, sorry, mate, you're Smashy through and through. The decision has been made by the higher powers that be. Now, here we go. Smashu's the one that's going to try and get that bomb down. Zuzu's the one to try and stop him, and I think he has put 2 and 2 together, realizing that may have to watch this bomb go down and then regroup numbers once it does.
Well, to be fair, he's put Zoo and Zoo together. And then the 2 and 2 together. Bomb bomb is down. Virep now was on site.
Oh, that's something I'd say.
Sorry. That's pretty bad. InFamous actually got battered there quite heavily. They were down to 2 players. They spawned in right at the back. But now they're all over the bomb site here. They're trying to contest this one. Safe will go down. Bomb is defused. And InFamous now get to breathe a sigh of relief as they just now start to clean up a bit more. Zam will drop. I mean, at this stage, Leap don't mind dying this far forward. They're always going to have time to regroup here. But Q, cheeky little rotter he is in the trench. And obviously, he's the last man in his squad right now. It's not a huge deal. His team could spawn in, but he can have a great position here to flank if he's not spotted too early. Ooh.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud. So proud, Zoo and Zoo. Oh, okay, that works on so many levels. Moving back on into the action, though, as it does seem like so far it's definitely been more of a kind of case of InFamous being on the offensive. This is refreshing to see Tony doing exactly the same thing again. This time it's not Jazer, and he's not going to be able to get the bomb down. Someone holding that angle beautifully. It was actually David who picked up the double, snatched 2 of the 5 members down back into an early grave. And it does feel like we're going to be seeing that time get pretty deadly. 2 minutes left on the clock now. And it doesn't feel like anyone is going to be, you know, making too much leeway towards the side. We could be seeing a 0-0 first half here.
Neither team really actually able to make any headway so far in this one. And there's been a lot of back and forth. And this is honestly a little bit what Dawnbreaker can be like in this format. But still, we've seen some games where we've seen plants left, right, and center. InFamous hoping to do that again now with Smasher and Safe, the last 2 left. Safe, though, will pick up one. He's just back-to-back with Smasher here in the middle of the street, and it's a great position. They've been able to pacify, at least to some degree, InFamous for the moment. But Zuzu there will finally take down Safe. And they can move forward now. Bomb trying to be planted at least, but Hysteria knows he's under fire. He's going to have to back away from this one. Try and heal up. Wait for his team. He's on his own now for the moment. I think there was a spawn in on him. Yes, there is. I think Zuzu isn't too far off either. And Sentry comes down, going to force him right on back. He'll need to heal up.
This is our first and final plant, excuse me, not first, the final plant we're going to be seeing in this half. It's a case of whether or not they can actually defend it, as it doesn't look likely. Just then on to NTQ. InFamous have done so damn well, as it's going to be a squad wipe, and just in the nick of time. We said it before, we said, you know, 8 minutes of nothing, 2 minutes of chaos. That chaos, they have thrived within it, and managed to pick up a first round win, as there is absolutely no chance in hell they're going to be getting in towards that site.
Yeah, I think Leap realise now that they have they've messed up here. No time to defuse this one now. They're just going to go to the shooting gallery and get some practice in for that next half. That won't end the half, but it will still obviously... Well, it'd be very, very, very hard.
The bomb takes about 20 seconds to respawn. Then they'd have to have squad wiped them and get the bomb down the last second. We'll see. Okay, so they are going to be seeing the new bomb. It does spawn over on towards middle, as we would expect in a couple of seconds. Now, though, there's just no way. Absolutely zero way. 25 seconds. You can't quite see the clock. It is going to be 25 seconds before the end of the round. And there is the bomb. No chance.
Absolutely not. NTQ will go over there and just jump onto it there, at least for bragging rights or something. But again, it's a very, very good start. Again, by InFamous, they do get onto that one.
9.
Really?
8.
No.
7. 5. 4. 3. Okay. You could see there was... Because the time doesn't... If you're planting, it's the same as defusing. The time doesn't stop. So if you start planning in the last second, you could still get the bomb down.
And it's even whilst being diffused. So there you can still potentially plant at the last second. But InFamous there, they will get that first half. And look at some of these score lines as well. David is playing out of his skin right now. He really is. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for the rest of his team. A team of, honestly, star players here. David's been holding down the fort perfectly, whereas InFamous have just been sharing the load nicely. And you've seen them all pushing forward as a unit. But it was a very close half.
I wonder if David's been given a more kind of more freedom than he did in his previous team over in Epsilon. I think he was filling, for a long time, he was filling more of a leadership role. Now he's just like, okay, Frank, you're a player. You're a player just like everyone else. The players that previously were under your command, now you're just one of them. Yep. That can make a world of change for some players. And I know that for a fact. You know, you see instances of it across all esports where someone who's gone from a leadership role into just, wait, so I don't have to be thinking about all of this? I only have to focus on this? That can change everything. And maybe, I mean, that's speculation on 1-2 scores, but already seeing big changes from David.
Well, David was the brains of Epsilon, right? And he had players like Mayak and Duke who he would just let off the leash and go, just go kill people, right?
Yeah.
We'll just try and rotate around you. Safe as well was more of like a supportive player. They had those two just beast frags that could go forward. And David always was the mastermind behind it. He was always sort of talking to his team, making sure that they were sort of doing the right thing. Maybe he's able to relax a little bit on that one now as well. He's in a team of very experienced players. They all should have a reasonable idea of how to play out the game. But still, he definitely seems like he's had a bit more freedom here to frag. But the rest of his team has to join him in that regard. They have to sort of start to lift as well. You know, it's Safe as well. Had a great first map. He played really well on Gonwood, but consistency is an issue for him. He'll say it as well. You know, sometimes he struggles to keep himself locked in that game mindset and just continue to, you know, focus, I guess, on the objective. We'll have to see. I mean, a lot of people are the same. Some people start really strong, and then their focus just starts to slide. The moment they look at their score and go, "I'm doing okay," that's when things start to go downhill.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely the case for me. I'm like, oh sweet, I'm doing really well. This is going to be the best game I've ever had, and then you become overconfident, and everything comes crumbling down.
That's it.
It's definitely a common trait for some gamers. Though we are kicking off then with our second half, I think, coming into our second map.
Absolutely, of course. So on the blue side, it is going to be Elite. Of course, the InFamous now want to finish this one off. They do. It's a similar situation what we saw on Gonwood Railway. Just the one MCOM detonation before half-time doesn't mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of things unless InFamous can lock down this half and get to.
Exactly. If InFamous were to get another one immediately, like quite early on, that's dominance established.
Yep.
That makes straight away, that's throwing down the gauntlet and saying, you want to keep playing, you have to get 2 MCOM destructions. That's a big claim, and that's really the power that the first half gives you, is that you can, if you continue down that path, really make it a sticky situation for your opponents.
I'm telling you, it says a lot about the caliber of the teams we're now seeing in our cups, that this team, Elite, could well be eliminated from this cup in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, that's insane. That also kind of is speaking a lot volumes of the seeding as well for Elite. You know, you have to start. You make a new team, you're starting at the bottom, and that's where you have to claw back from, which a lot of teams are familiar with.
We're fortunate to not have to go up against Fnatic first, at least. We expect them to make it through at least the first few rounds here. So far, Bomb not being really sniffed at this stage. Team's just setting up here. Hysteria in his favourite spot at the moment. He can see a lot of the map. He can see both potential bomb locations as well in the middle. So he always gets to read on the movements here of those Elite players right now. Shots are coming towards him, and that is a nice little frag grenade coming out from David. Probably thrown from the bridge, if I'm not mistaken. That's the opening. Zam will get his hands on the bomb. Starts to move forward. Tony hits the deck.
Now Zam up against that roster he's all too familiar with. And he's going to be making a run for A. I think he's one on truly way. He has support from the hillside. This could be huge. If they can get this equalizer now, that would be a step, a leap in the right direction. Hysteria is going to be trying it up against NTQ, and actually Fearless fights back with a double. The bomb's going down. Zam's having no problems here, and this is a big start. They don't have numbers, though.
He is real lucky to get away from that one there, only with one other teammate for the moment now. We've seen this spawn in of David. Bomb down, but again, this is tough to hold, but look at the damage being done here. Zam holding so well from those trenches, just back and forth. Can't stay in the same place for too long here. Holding very well, Cremedo dives right on in.
That's going to be a deadly second as well. If only Fearless was a little quicker on the trigger. We are now, however, going to be seeing that defuse come in, and it all came down to Krema's double there. That should be, I say defuse coming in, and finally we're going to be seeing Hysteria step up. Or not! Hang on a second, I was writing this one off, and foolish me, because now we have numbers, and they have got time now to just spray in towards that bomb and stop the defuse from coming in.
They have perfect angles on this one as well. They have it completely locked down. You see Elite can just control the bomb site right now. NTQ's going to come forward with the law. He's going to take out the defuser, can he? Yes, he does! And there goes the MCOM. It goes up in smoke as the law connects.
That was huge. That was a last-second defuse coming in. Smart to throw the rocket through the smoke. And already, we have ourselves a game. Equalizer comes in straight off the bat, and Leet feels like they're almost replaying that Goldman Railway with a different ending.
That's exactly right. Well, they're hoping that at least now. One apiece it is on MCOMs right now. So, one more coming out from Leet, and that will be it. A 2-1 victory for them. But let's see, though. Let's not count our chickens before they hatch, as it were. So we see InFamous coming forward now, all set up on this C site, starting to push their way forward. There might be a little bit of an issue here. No, they did know that Zam was waiting for them behind the containers, and they will come forward. Have a look at this. Smashu, as always. Got the flank spawn here.
I'm in love with count our chickens before they hatch. Not an expression you regularly hear in England. Is that an Aussie thing? Or
probably an Aussie thing.
Count your chickens before they hatch.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's really nice. I like that. Yeah, good job. First, you hit me with Zuzu. I'm falling in love with you, Mitch. Watch out. Now, though, Zuzu and Hysteria, and joined by Kremmer as he does respawn in on them. They have 3 members up against 5. It's not looking like a particularly well-stacked push, but actually, hang on. David's been given a lot of freedom to start establishing some dominance over here.
Are we going to have a 1-1? This could be ridiculous now as David pushed up. He's in those sneaky flower beds. I don't know if he's been spotted. He did get the spot towards Kremmer, and NTQ just finished him off there as well. David gets a shot towards Zuzu on the side. It's a 3v2 situation. Tony, last man in his squad right now. He must hold on right now. He has to. It's his only chance. And he will just for the moment. Doesn't quite get the kill though, and he is still on his own. His shots coming in from every single angle, and he's just trying to hang on for dear life.
Yeah, and this is very nice from David. Again, we were highlighting, is this an anomaly? Is he just this kind of fragging machine all of a sudden? And he just keeps on going. Now, though, it's going to be Zam who manages to get that bomb out of their hands, and it's going to be crucial to see if he can continue to try and build onto it. Hang on, have they changed their plan? Are they not going for B? They are going to go for B instead of C. They've changed their kind of game plan here because of InFamous swarming in. There's 3 of them there, and David is finally going to be put to bed.
David holding on so well, though. It's a good little rotation, actually. It just keeps these guys from Leet safer for that little bit longer. He actually has to abandon the plant there as now we'll get it finished up here. There's still 4 players up for InFamous. Law comes in, but won't quite get the kill. And the bomb does go down. Zuzu does get the kill here, but look at this. InFamous all over this bomb site, but it is a fairly open area now. You can see NTQ just trying to hold down, but no. Defuse comes in.
That rocket hit him square on the nose, and he just laughed it off. That was insane. As it's going to be, we're reaching the 5-minute mark, and we are going to be seeing an intriguing one in terms of time, because when you have like half the round left, you've got an equal playing field because, of course, that first half, if you did miss it, and now it does feel like we're going to hit a little bit of a kind of calm before the storm. We saw the chaotic 2 minutes before. I think that's going to be exactly the same case again.
I mean, as we said before, you can plant that bomb with 1 second left, and if you can defend it and hold it out, that will be it. But here's that push forward I was talking about earlier on here. Tony now making his way up on towards this eastern, or western, should I say, side of the map. Look at this already. Leet are ready for them right now. Nades are coming out here. NTQ pushing up a little bit here. Getting aggressive. He knows where the bomb is now. It's actually been dropped. It's not in anyone's hands right now, so he's going to come barreling over the top. And he will pick up Jazer. This aggression from NTQ is paying off perfectly. He gets the 2-piece and completely stops the players from InFamous that were there. But now what? Can they push forward with this bomb? There's a little bit of position and presence on the bridge here as Tony tries to hold back the tide. And the bomb in the hands of NTQ, the man of the moment right now. Some beautiful play coming out from him. 10 and 5 for this half. Let's pick up Hysteria as well. Slowly but surely, it does seem like Leet are making their way across this one. They're not getting too ahead of themselves here. Risk versus reward, always something in the back of your mind.
So, I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. Risk versus reward, it's always something that I like to come back to because the biggest plays, the most successful victories all come off the back of someone taking an incredible risk. At least that's most definitely the case in Battlefield, as you're going to see a little bit more of a movement coming in. It's going to be NTQ then who's trying to do something special, as he's trying to run that bomb down. It has previously been quite a safe long. Sometimes we see it become more of a factor where you just cannot push that. There's just so many eyes on it. They, however, have been given quite a lot of movement. I say that. Looks like Phyllis is going to be finding some. Could be potentially finding a second. He's heavily tagged at 1. Bullets are connecting, but not quite enough, as he's going to have to go for a fresh magazine. And the time is of the essence now. 3 minutes left, and they need to start trying to get that bomb down. It's all onto NTQ, and he is going to be very, very close to C.
Doesn't really have this smoke cover. I guess from the street side he does it. Kremmer getting gunned down on the way through. This is a good start for Leet as the bomb is put down. But NTQ just poking his head up for a little bit too long. Will drop down now. David, it's his job to try and dig Zuzu out of that position. But he's not going to give any easy shots here InFamous spawning out of 2 different locations. One right here, one towards the back. They're going to come in from 2 different angles, but we see Smashy will be waiting for the people to push across him. Does get the spot, will get the kill, but there's going to be a second player pushing around on him soon as well. He must stay alive here. Great hold right now for Leet, and they should be able to hold on to this one.
This could very well be the equalizer. We are setting our sights on map 3 now as InFamous. They have to try and hold steady. This could be the one necessary for us 2-1 victory on Dawnbreaker. This is their last chance. It was Kremer. He is no more. It is all onto Hysteria. He has gone onto the bomb site though. Time ticking away. They're not spraying the right spot. Finally, the frag comes in, and it is going to be going into a third as Elite make their presence known here in the Winter ESL 1 kickoff.
Very strong second half there from League. They came out of the gates and they knew exactly what they had to do. The kickoff.
The kickoff. ESL 1 Winter kickoff.
I love it.
I mean, kind of. Yeah, sure.
It is.
It is the kickoff.
Cup number 1.
Cup number 1 is the word I was looking for, but kickoff, we'll take that. That works. Anyway. Kickoffs aside, we're going into a third map, Mitch. Not something we necessarily would have anticipated. I mean, we saw big names on the screen. But, I mean, I always would have hedged my bets towards InFamous. Good to see Leet demonstrating, or rather David and the rest of the boys demonstrating that they're not a team to be frowned at.
It's funny, when we were looking over the bracket at the start of the night to decide what game we were going to look towards, we saw InFamous versus Leet. We're like, oh, you know, who is Leet? We don't really know this team. Clicked on and we're like, we have to see this game. We have to watch this and cast this for you guys and see exactly what transpires. I'm glad we did. I mean, it's kind of exhausting in a way to cast because it's just like always action all the time. You know, as a Battlefield caster, you don't always feel like under the pump like that, but these guys are giving us some serious action. Leet also showing up as well individually in a big way. David, I'll point him out yet again. Enter Q had a fantastic half. He was like 12 and 6 by the end of it here. The fact that you have all these players that can fire up when they're needed to is great. All you need is for it hopefully to be consistent, and hopefully some of them at the same time.
You certainly can hope. I mean, consistency has been a problem, a factor for a whole lot of teams. I think the only team that hasn't kind of quite cracked under the pressure has been Fnatic. Those guys, I mean, are kind of consistency personified almost. I mean, they are relentless in these victories, and we're going to be intrigued to see how far they get in this one. They are, of course, featured in this first Kickoff Cup. I'm going to be sticking with it. That's right. So hopefully we're going to be seeing more of Fnatic coming into this one. Maybe even one of these teams could prove their worth and fight their way towards that semi and final spot.
Yeah, I mean, like, Fnatic is a team we harp on about a lot. Anyone who's followed Battlefield here in Europe or even worldwide knows what they're like. They are the best. They have been the best for a heck of a long time. The only season they haven't been champions of was Season 1, which is where MYM actually managed to pick that one up. So usually they go through the cups and only drop one cup.
They like to keep it a little exciting, yeah. They like to kind of, you know, lose one to keep everyone guessing and maybe give them a bit of false hope. But no, so far it's been a very Fnatic game. I mean, the ESL 1 season is most definitely being controlled by Fnatic on both EU and American fronts. But I think it's almost time to see our third map.
We're going to be jumping into this one. Parasol Storm will be the decider for this match here. And I'll tell you what a decider it is going to be. If anything from these last few games is something to go on, we're going to be ticking right on down into this one. He's going to be rolling out with David, of course, who has now put himself back in the gamer's seat and has definitely been impressing us tonight. See, it's the rollout here. A bomb in the middle, as it generally is here. Smoke's always paying dividends in this map. The bomb always sort of spawning in that sort of basketball court here, which is flimsily protected by this very small fence here. So a lot of incendiaries, smokes, grenades do go in towards this part of the map. Teams just trying to soften each other up before they even get there. Hysteria, he's actually down in the trenches. He will have company in a moment. If he's not careful, he does get picked up there by EnterQ, who's already set up there now. And they're going to be able to push on towards this one here. Getting control of these trenches, especially this one here, gives you control of that middle part of the map. That's why Zuzu as well is just trying to stay in there as well over towards that A site. Penta moving up slowly, progressively, through the cover of that smoke.
Yeah, indeed, and something that I need to see now is whether or not the bomb can go down any sooner than before. I mean, look at Dawnbreaker. We saw, what was that, 7-8 minutes before the first plant successfully went down in the first half. Now, though, it's going to be Jazer then taking down Zam. Bomb loose. And it does actually look like it's going to be retrieved by another member of InFamous.
Zuzu gets onto that one. Over towards the scrapyard, I like to refer to it as. So You know, we could see there's a lot of protection here, of course, for the red side. They have these buildings as well that they can use, especially to either protect their teammates or, you know, just have protection while they're firing at the enemy, trying to push forward here. So it is a little bit tricky here from the US side of the map to actually come forward here. These trenches are always the #1 go-to place. That's that first MCOM. A lot of teams, and sometimes even on the US side, settle for the 1 MCOM in the half. Try and drag it out and head over towards those trenches and get it planted towards the end. Especially this one here, because the bomb site is actually around the corner. So it is a little bit harder to actually have to commit to sort of going all the way around to get onto it.
I'm always terrified by that plant though, because it's a nade heaven. It's a trench, for heaven's sake. Just imagine the kind of difficulties you can encounter when trying to hold a position in such a nade-friendly spot. As the bomb is going to go down, courtesy of Zam, but it looks like someone's going to be there to deal with. It's going to be Fearless charging on in, but look at Kremer. He's been such a king of double kills. Not going to be happening this time as the bomb does get retrieved. And we're actually going to see the bomb go in for the first time in this game off the back of a squad wipe near about.
Actually gets it done here. Both teams going down to only, well, 2 on the side of Lee, 1 on the side of InFamous here. So they both paid dearly to gain position there, but the bomb goes down. That first A side is where we always see it go down for the red side team. And now they just have to hold on to this one. It is a little bit hard to sort of wrest control of the trenches away from opponents who are set up around it, but they're not using the watchtower right now. You can see that they're actually leaving that. It's a little bit of an open position, but this is a very normal spot here. Smashy just around the corner on that sort of windbreak or whatever it is, just to get the flanking shots on now. We get 2, no! Still, done a bit of work. Only 2 players left for Lee. Yeah,
time is becoming a bit of a factor. You can hear the monkey siren as I did dub it, but oh, beautiful. Astera dives into the smoke. I don't think anyone's particularly aware of its location. No late nades being thrown out. It was just Fearless who had an opportunity to do so. It's not going to happen. And very, very comfortable for Hysteria. Even in the face of the scary 10-second countdown, manages to bring the bomb under his control. And no bomb will be destroyed just yet. Or rather, no MCOM will be destroyed just yet.
No, but the bomb is already pushing quite a long way forward. Potentially, yeah, InFamous might want to switch sides on this one and actually make over towards the red side, A side here, but they have to cross through these buildings, and if their opponents are set up here as well, it's very, very perilous to actually try and make that sort of switch here. So Hysteria is just taking his time. We see the explosions coming out in front of him here as well. Very, very even game in terms of kills right now as well. I mean, you can see that it is close. There's no one team really standing out right now. And these teams just, we could put a tissue over the 2 of them. They're that close together.
Indeed, you could. Quick quiz, Mitch. MCOM. What does MCOM stand for as the bomb goes down?
Mobile Command.
Boom. Nice. That's good memory for you.
Something.
As that's our second fan of the game. It's down from the 1337 boys. Or rather, they have to defend it, I guess. As the bomb did go down courtesy of InFamous. I'm getting a little confused. My colours are confusing.
See, the C side, it can be very, very hard to defend for the red team as well, because being in the building doesn't actually give you any vantage point of the bomb at all. You can't see anyone who's planning, defusing from the building. You actually are forced to come out of that one here as well. And you can see that's what Lead have done here. NTQ getting aggressive. Europe is actually on that side, looking towards a watchtower, but he is outranged by Jazair, and Jazair had the perfect vantage point now. But David has made his way out there as NTQ does drop down, but there's not going to be much he can really do about this one at this stage. It's too late. He's going to have to back away, and now Lead had to set up to try and hold on to this one here. InFamous off to a flying start on Parasol Storm.
Let's not forget, this is how InFamous did begin their game a long, long time ago over on Gorman Railway. It does feel like a good while away, as these guys have been keeping it nice and close in our 3rd map here of just our first game of what's set to be a Battlefield extravaganza for our ESL 1 Winter Cup 1/Kickoff Cup, as it has been previously dubbed. And now just Tony, the last man standing for InFamous, is going to be... I think he's going to be victim to a very fast plant here from Smashy.
Not really much you can do if you get mowed over like this, especially on Parasol. With the bomb so close to the middle and close to this trench, you see Smashy's going to be able to jump right on in and get that plant down fairly immediately here. But no one's been able to set up, so Hysteria can actually get around this rock fairly safely. But no, he does get gunned down by Zam. And now Zam is just going to get himself in that same position we saw Smashy. Just try and run interference, just try and get in front and distract at least InFamous. They're all the way down to just the one player, and Jazair can't do a lot about this at all as the storm starts to roll in.
This is a big plant. Very little they can do until they all respawn, and they're all going to be coming from a predictable location, because they know exactly there was just one man left, so they know they're all coming from the beach. It should be easy to defend. That operative word is should. NTQ does get one, should be able to get second. He does. This is it. This is going to be our first bomb destruction, rather second, excuse me. And it looks like 1337 or Leet are standing up to their name in the first half of our third map.
Superb hold. Really, really good hold on this one. The amount of times that we've seen teams set up in this trench, plant down on that A side, and then just get mowed over or just push too aggressively. I mean, I'd run out of fingers if I try to count on there. It happens a lot. So it's going to be 1-1 now as well. See, things starting to get a bit wild and woolly out there on the battlefield. Zarm having some difficulty with the fence. We'll get over as both teams just try and set up here, just trying to get some kills and wait for that next bomb to make itself apparent.
So, Kremer switches to the G18, isn't going to be able to find any connections off that one. And I do like to see a little bit of sidearm usage. I saw a couple of mare's legs come in from Drunks not too long ago.
So
and
cheeky.
I mean, it's that crazy scoped pistol, shotgun thing, hybrid monster pistol, but no, nothing special coming out from any of these guys in terms of pistols. You can see the pretty standard equipment, Ace 23 across the board, and we saw a couple of deviations, an ACW or two, maybe for Zam. I think he's always been an advocate for the ACW, but so far pretty standard play across the kill feed.
This has definitely been one of those higher planting games here. Both teams already, with only 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in this one, both teams actually have that MCOM plant. Now, Kremer going to go for a second one here to end the half, and at least put themselves in the lead. Good work, going to come around that corner, does take down Virup. David, where is he? Well, he's a squad wipe, I think, is entered Q now, having to make the long walk towards that site.
This actually feels pretty permanent. That bomb's gone in, and look at this. Look at the kind of legwork they have to do to even try and challenge this trench defense. I don't envy them one bit. This could be a 2-1 end of the first half. Very perilous to make their way down in towards this one. They've got around the corner. They don't know what they're pushing into necessarily there. Zarm did get one, but went down soon after here. And all the players are in position for InFamous right now. They really can just sit tight on this one here. Hope to not give their lives away too cheaply. And look at him just sitting on this one here. You can see that the flanks are trying to come in here, but Zuzu gets a quite nice double there. Jazair picks up one, and I don't really think, nope, there's no chance here as another squad wipe comes in on lead. Halftime comes up, and we see InFamous in the lead, 2-1. And I'll be damned, they only need one more MCOM to finish this off. This could be an InFamous comeback. I mean, I say comeback, I mean, just because we saw Elite look very, very good over on Dawnbreaker. I mean, it's going to be an uphill struggle for them now as they're going to be going into this one. Again, even frags across the board. The only person who kind of was falling behind for InFamous was Hysteria. This time he's back in the middle of the pack where he belongs, and it's good that InFamous have resolved any sort of internal fragging issues, which on squad obliteration can mean so little, but almost everything. You know, one frag can outweigh 12, 13
it's the context,
frags.
You know?
I think it's definitely quality over quantity in terms of frags, and I need to not get hung up so much on that kind of scoreboard, because it does mean very little sometimes. Yeah, I mean, if there's no bomb on the battlefield, or if teams aren't even remotely close to where the bomb is, or there's no contesting that major objective, it's not important. But have a look at Zuzu though. I will say this: he has continued to impress me since when we've been seeing him tonight. Had some excellent games, and he's continuing now to frag quite nicely here. So going to be jumping into the second half on this one. The question is, ladies and gentlemen, can Leet even this one up? Can they even win it? They're still in a position. If they get 2 MCOMs, they're going to win it in a 3-2 scoreline. So getting at least the 1 MCOM in that first half is super important, and it definitely keeps you well and truly in contention for the win. But of course, it's only one more detonation required for InFamous. And as you've seen as well, we've seen successful MCOM detonations on both sides of this map tonight. Both towards the trenches as well. So a lot of attention has been focused over towards there. And, if we expect both of these teams to get at least 1 MCOM detonation this half, that's kind of bad news for Leet, because InFamous only need 1 more, and they will be the winners. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's going to be the real worrisome point, and it's coming into a game where you have no room for maneuver. You cannot mess up. There's no allowance of giving up an MCOM or even giving up a plant. I feel as soon as that bomb goes down, you're going to be in a pretty dire circumstance, just because of the scenario, the amount of I don't want to say room for maneuver. I've kind of been harping on about that, but for InFamous, it does enable them to be so much freer in their play. They can try something. They could go for some ridiculous push. They can try for a fake. They can implement their smokes even better than they have been already. And I'm intrigued to see how much that does translate into their play. Only 1 engineer class so far here on Paracel Storm for our second half, as it's Zam, the real believer in engineer.
I mean, this is kind of disappointing because this is the kind of match that you'd almost expect to see at the semi-final stage of things.
Absolutely, and I mean, this is also the map we'd expect to see a whole lot more engineers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Zam, the only one. Again, InFamous, they did this on Goldman as well. They didn't roll out with any engineers. They went for the first aggressive push with just the medics, trying to get revives on each other. And to be fair, it worked out. They actually managed to take control of that bomb area on Goldman quite easily, purely on the virtue of them just getting aggressive and fragging hard. We'll have to see if it's going to be the same situation here. Bomb quickly scooped up by Hysteria, and already InFamous are hoping to get their third and final MCOM detonations. They make their way over towards A.
If they get this bomb down soon, it's going to be curtains for the new mix-up side. Fearless and NTQ already down. Looks like the ones that should soon to follow. It's going to be Zam then, who bites the dust, and every death he takes up against his old side is going to be extra painful.
Oh my!
And look at those spawns. Oh good God, the bomb's down already. This could be spelling trouble. We could be having a very fast final half.
They're spawning. Well, I don't know if they spawned in from here, but they just ended up on the complete and utter wrong side of the map. And now Lead have to make their way back towards this bomb, and it is a long walk. It's not a walk of shame necessarily, but it is definitely not one that they want to be making when there are things to be done, like defusing that bomb. A lot of ground to cover right now, but they actually may be able to get here if they can push through Kremer. They have to take him down. There's still 3 players up for InFamous right now, and 3 players are close here. Smashy pushing forward. David does go down. Tony and Kremer doing very nicely. That's the kind of defense InFamous needs to put up, and they're going to win this one. And yet another one on the kill feed for them. Smashy last man standing. What can he do? He gets 1 kill, and that is curtains for Leet. GG.
GG indeed. And so the game concludes as a very, very prominent finish to that one. I was looking at the InFamous boys, I was like, okay, if they start well, it literally came out of my mouth, I just said, if they get the bomb down early, that's game. Because there's no way you can recover off from such early power, and we saw that. Literally, scoop the bomb up, his serious runs, is allowed to get the bomb down off the back of 3 frags that his team pick up, and that is the end. That is the end of the game. Forced to respawn way back towards that B, or where the B flag was in our previous game mode. I'm always going to be calling that B. That's just kind of hardwired into me now. That's
fine. I mean, definitely interesting game there as well. Our first 2 maps, it probably has a lot to do with the way that Golmud and Dawnbreaker are set up. It was a lot of slow play from these teams as well. They took their time. It wasn't until sort of 2 minutes before the end of the game that we actually seen MCOM plants going down. Looking over towards my screen with mild interest here, so I can see that they are still playing. Yeah.
I mean, we've done the maths, right? Let's just remember this. They got 2-1 in the first half.
Yep.
Yeah, and now they've just got 1, so that puts them at 3, which isn't a number that that is inaccessible.
Well, yeah. So I don't know why we
2-1.
Well, wait a minute. If they get
could get 2. If they get 2 more now, it would be 3-3, and they'd go into overtime.
But I thought the game ends at, I thought like if you get 3 MCOMs, that's it.
Not if they can equalize. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Shall we?
So I guess we'll just
slide back into this one.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Game over.
It was just an interlude as well.
An interlude. Yeah. So this has been a little camera interlude. I thought you wanted to see our faces, and now back to Battlefield.
Okay. Well, of course, Tony here on your screen, making his way through. David there as all the Stormcars come in. Oh my God, looks like Veer up now on your screen. Oh dear, this could be nasty. League could be out of time, just like we're out of jobs at this stage. But the bomb is defused. And NTQ is going to be able to scoot that one back up and make his way out.
Maths with Mitch and Alex. That's what we're doing right now.
This has descended into madness. But somehow, at least, Leader managed to hold on there. They almost lost it there. The bomb was down. They had to scurry over and pick that one up here. It might seem like the shoe's on the other foot right now. Hysteria and Tony, the last 2 standing here for InFamous right now. Hysteria, he'll be the man. He's going to just have to jump headfirst in towards this trench and hope to get the kill, but no, he is waylaid by Zam. And that is going to be a clean plant. The spawn's coming in all too slowly for InFamous.
Yeah, this is almost a replay of what InFamous managed to get away with over the start of this round. As this could be the equalizer almost, I guess. This is the battle for the draw at this point. InFamous are going to be holding the reins in this round, and it's going to come down to 1337 or Leet, who have to acquire not just this plant, but the second after it in order to take us into stopwatch overtime. As I'm explaining it to you, it sounds like I needed to explain it to myself. But rather than watching by the sidelines, they're going to be backing away. They don't want to be losing out of this one, and we are going to be seeing another step closer then for Leet as they do eliminate the trenches. Trenches seem to be a priority in this game, Mitch.
They're the easiest sites to hit by far. I mean, again, the harder a site is to take, the harder it is to sort of the easier it is to defend, should I say. And being in a trench, of course, lines of sight, you have to commit to the trench to actually kill the players in there. So for a team that's attacking or trying to stop the detonation, English is hard, it can be quite risky to do so. I've
always considered the B site for InFamous, you know, the one in the buildings, something that people kind of prioritize as well, other than trenches. This one down here, yeah, you can see that. I always see people rushing for that, or at least they used to. Maybe as time has gone on, they've developed into more of a trench play, just because it is so easy to hold, as you outlined.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because even C as well, it's actually the bomb site is protected from this building. You can't fire from the building or the bomb site. You have to leave the building and actually commit to that one as well. So that's why we did see in that first half InFamous go for that one as well. They made that switch towards that one when they realized that they had a good position. So they're all viable. There's no doubt about it here. And now InFamous with the bomb in hand, and they'd love to just quash this little rebellion as quickly as they possibly could and just be done with it here, of course, with those large amount of MCOM detonations already in the bag for them. 3 it is. See, now, as you said, Leap fighting just to draw this one out. They're just trying to hang on here. We're going to go to our stopwatch here. Let's see what happens, though. We're safe, though. He's going to be able to get taken down by Zuzu, should I say. I didn't expect that one to happen. And David with the bomb in hand, incendiary out. Going to get the revive and make his way forward here. Where's he looking to go with this one? Maybe even to B, like you said here. The trench is no longer an option now after they've already detonated that one. They might head towards this building.
They have got time to work with. 3.5 minutes then. As I'm going to be seeing a couple more rockets find out. Zuzu has dropped back into the engineer class. He's picking up that. I think he realizes the importance of rockets in this kind of integral moment of the game where you need to keep the walls as open as possible. Look at B. That is such a vulnerable site right now. There's a whole lot of evolution. There's a whole lot of fragging as well. Zam and Smashu doing work for Leet as that bomb is so close to being planted.
Yeah, it's going to be tough though. We see the evolution coming out, so this is more of an open site now. Safe just trying to get that plant down.
Oh my god!
It missed him.
No, it whistled straight past him, but he could have got the bomb down off the back of it. And Zuzu, for the first time I think I've ever seen, is rocking the P90.
Oh dear. Well, it's
at least it was. I think he's just stolen someone else's weapon. He just did fill up the kill feed with P90.
I did see it. Maybe just go for something a little bit cheeky there. I think there's a reason we probably don't see it too much here. That InFamous, that's appropriate. Very InFamous weapon it is.
Hey.
Of course. But now, speaking of which, the Frenchman with the bomb in hand. They're just going to sit tight for now. A lot of defense provided by these buildings. I mean, it's not as if Leap really have the time to fire every law they have to sort of break this one down a bit. So InFamous know that they can take their time. They can bleed this one down. They don't have to get an MCOM detonation here, but Leet must do it to draw this game. If time runs out, the winner of this one will be InFamous purely on virtue of the amount of MCOMs they've had throughout this round, and that will be the 2-1 victory for them. So they, as you can see, taking their time, but that can also work against them. They're sitting back with the bomb, and now David's been able to scoop it up, and we get a very quick plant.
That's going to be good. David's the one then who's going to be trying his best to try and position himself accordingly with that bomb down. He's actually gone for a bit of a walk. He's trying to join his teammates, just managed to get the revenge on Zuzu, and then probably get the revive on towards Zam as well. So big steps in the right direction for them, as this could be insane. This could be us both very, very wrong, but also Leet managing to battle back from an astounding deficit here on Paracel Storm and actually take us into overtime.
Well, see, Safe now just out towards the back here. It was a great plant from David. He just took his chance when he could, and now look at this. Safe can just watch the site. He gets the kill over towards Tony. No, it was Kremer, should I say. And that's it. InFamous gets squad wipe, and it's going to be 3-3. We have an overtime.
And one of the members of InFamous is furious, has actually left it. He's not having any of it, as we are going to be seeing GG's in chat. Have we got it wrong again, Mitch? Have we done that again? Ooh, don't you leave.
We may have.
Oh, good God.
Battlefield casters extraordinaire.
That's us, man. That is us.
All right, so from what that's why I checked the chat there, because from what it appears, it does seem that is game, and with Leet getting that last detonation, it means that did they win that one? They really did. Right on my piece of paper here. I don't know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is that. I think Leet were the winners of that one there, especially if the game is going to end on that last MCOM detonation. We will just check, of course, and make sure, but it doesn't really add up for us right now. So unless we've made a major miscalculation,
that's going to be a win.
That would be a win for Leet.
Okay. And I mean, at the forefront of that was most definitely David, who, shock and horror, top of the scoreboard once again. 16 frags for him. And you would, expect to go in towards the next round with a lot of confidence, with a big smile on their faces. It's going to be a case of just, we beat InFamous. What's next? What's your next challenge that you can throw us? Because InFamous have always been sitting just below that top 3. You know, you look at your Fnatic, you look at your Epsilon. At the moment, that's kind of the 2 that you've got to keep your eye out, because the others have dissolved in some capacity or another. So yeah, Fnatic, Epsilon, InFamous, you're right up on them if they can continue down this path of success. And I say that, they're still in the server. I feel like we need to stop second-guessing ourselves.
I'll just check from the admins here and find out here.
Okay,
it is best of 3 as far as we understand, isn't it?
Best of 3, and that was the 3rd map, and that was the second half. 2-1 on one half. They got 2 in the first half, didn't they? 2-0.
Yep.
And then it was 2-1.
No, at halftime was it not 2-1? At half time, because then that would mean that with League getting 2 detonations in the second half, that would make it 3 and 3.
Which would mean we were right and it's an overtime. Which is what I'm trying to second guess myself about.
So I'm not really quite sure what's happening here.
I feel like it should be an overtime.
Yeah, it is. All right, so I thought the game was over. I think we were overtime on Parasol Storm. For some reason, the reason why we got so confused...
It's because players left.
Yes, and because the map didn't change to Parasol either.
And they said GG in chat.
Let me just confirm with that.
I'd like to apologise to all of you guys at home for the confusion upon our faces. It has been an awful long time since we did manage to dive back into Battlefield. Of course, there has been a break between seasons. We're back into the winter season. This is our first cup of the ESL 1 winter season. And so, as in true Alex and Mitch style, it seems, we have sucked at maths. And we've finally managed to put the 2 pieces together after assuming it was over and assuming it was over a second time. We're going into our 3rd attempt at trying to get this map right.
So we were originally correct. We were correct.
Okay.
But we second guessed ourselves a little bit there. So we're going to be jumping into the stopwatch overtime now. 2 5-minute halves.
Let's break it down.
Okay, so basically 1 MCOM detonation per half. If you get that detonation, that's the end of the half. And in the second half, the opposing team has to detonate the MCOM quicker. They have to do it quicker, or they have to at least get that detonation here. If one team gets detonations in both halves, done.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles. Very much a simple one to work out, and we're going to be going straight then back into the action. It's a lot more sunny than you may remember over on Parasol Storm, as it's time for us to go back on in and see if, while the sun does continue to rise, whether or not we're going to be seeing any changes in the play from these 2 teams. Like, do you stick with what's worked, or do you try and mix it up a little bit? Because right now we are rocking the overtime.
Well, we saw some insanely early plant maneuvers there in that second half. Teams are capable of doing this. They are capable of rushing that bomb and getting it planted down. As we've said, sort of ad infinitum, getting plant down in the trench is always a very advantageous way to go about it. Smokes also completely obscure your passage. Very, very hard to dig people out of there as well. And there we see, actually, I'm pretty sure we did see Leak go for the B side. I think it was here. It was under the building. Let's just check. They did go for this one here as well. It didn't quite look the same with all the rockets in the building, but that is definitely how it went down. So, I mean, off momentum, I feel like personally, I think Leak can do this. I think if they come out strong at the start of this one, I think they'll take it.
It would be insane to see them win. Like, I mean, this is definitely a new InFamous with Zuzu. It's not the it's not as new as, of course, 1337, where it's just a bunch of players from a variety of teams, a variety of backgrounds in Battlefield 4, all coming together to try and beat the best, it seems, as they're going to try and be the kind of the I don't want to say the kind of Goliath versus David kind of scenario, but they are going to try and be the giant killers.
Well, I think everyone has fancied themselves as giant killers before going up against Fnatic. Afterwards, it definitely seems a last thought on their mind as they tend to limp away with their tail between their legs. We have seen Epsilon did actually take down Fnatic in one of the cups last season, which was the one that they ultimately won, but it is a rare occurrence, if at all, to see that one happening now. Bomb, though, already in the hands of Leak.
NTQ is going to be trying to keep himself alive rather than anything else. He's not really considering any sort of plan at this point. 23 points of health. There's no way in hell he's going to be allowed to get the bomb down. Instead, he's just going to try and play for the bait. Beautiful. 3 players go down. Now the bomb could go down. This is a completely different scenario, and it does look like he's a little too far afield to be getting that bomb down just yet.
Yeah, he's backed up a lot, and he's just trying to wait for the rest of his team. They're going to try and soften up InFamous before they can come forward here. And time ticking down. Mind you, only 4 minutes left in this one. They're 5-minute half, so teams must act quickly and decisively as well. And it looks like they're trying to do that here. They're going to get a flank on towards Tony. Tony doesn't realise, but he's about to be in deep trouble now. He's going to get taken down. The push on towards him. Didn't even see that coming. Utterly blindsided. And we should see the plant now over towards his A site here. Very, very quickly. InFamous trying to make the way across, but there's not much they can do to stop this one here. The grenades did land true on towards NTQ, I think, but it was too late. The bomb was planted. Jazair does take down David. But the spawns are coming in as well for Leak. They're going to be able to hold on to this one. At least for the moment. Only got 2 players left though, and they have to be careful now. Safe is the last man standing. He's stuck in the trenches as the last man in the squad. Must keep his head down. Must keep his cool. And he does. Spawn comes in. David on him right now, but still Zuzu comes in there, gets a team kill, but still manages to clean up the rest of Leak on that side. Bomb is dropped now. Storm rolls in rather quickly here with 3 minutes left. That could have been it right there for Leak. What a great start for them, but now they're just going to have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a grind. I mean, that's pretty scary. So few seconds, really, or so few minutes, I should say, really, before this one is going into the second. And I think Tony realizes that it's not going to be a case of how many times you try and get that bomb down. It's going to come down to the quality of your push. And NTQ is going to be making it difficult as Zuzu does go down. That's 3 members of InFamous already neutralized, and with that bomb now loose, as Tony was one of them to bite the dust. I think it's going to be David. Oh, beautiful. David, always anticipating that cover, is not going to be able to pick up the bomb just yet, though. As it does just feel like a bit of a kind of TDM at this point. Frags, left, right, and center. This is what happens when you change the time limits in Battlefield 4, folks. None of the holds, all of the pushes. Zam's the one charging in this time, and it's going to be a case of how quickly can he, I was going to say get the bomb down. Instead, though, he's going to go on a bit of a hunt.
Sam going to try to be aggressive here now as he's made his planting already in the trenches, but that blows up in his face, and Zuzu's going to come forward on towards this one now. No one at the side. He's looking for the player who planted the bomb. He hasn't been able to find him yet. There he goes, David. It's blindsided there. Oh, going to get the kill! Oh, with a slither of health, he manages to hold on. He does die. We're not long after, I think. No, he's still up. David, you cheeky bugger. No, he did go down. All right. Confusion reigns supreme. And only 1 player left. It's NTQ. Last man standing. Does get the kill on towards Zuzu, but he must get some revives right now. Zam is up on his feet. NTQ gets the G18 kill. Some classy play right now. And he's keeping his team in this one. But the defuse is still able to occur. As, of course, Leak were forced to back right away. 1 minute, 35 seconds left. And
still no MCOM destruction. If this goes into the second half, we're going to be in this kind of sudden death scenario where the next MCOM destruction wins. That can truly be a bloodbath. Though, bomb running on towards the beach. They're going to have time to try and get it down over on towards A if there is no problems for Tony, but I do think there is 2 players who are looking to cause just that. They're going to be lying in wait to hear those footsteps in the trenches, and it's going to be Zam then who does take down Kremer and keep things a little bit slower.
So Kremer trying to push forward there and just clear the way for Tony, but it wasn't successful. Now NTQ, great peak timing inside the trench. We'll be able to secure that kill there. And Incendiary is going to go down and just deny that bomb. At least deny NTQ for coming forward too quickly. A bit of spray through smoke yields no results. And Kremer gets a lovely little double there as he holds those trenches down like a boss. And Leak now starting to flag a little bit. This feels like they're struggling to hold position right now. As again, the peak timing's been very, very good in these trenches. Bomb down. NTQ gets a kill though. And you see the rest of Leak are catching up now. Can they stop this one?
30 seconds is an almost Wilhelm scream is heard across the map as it's going to be another man down. And there's the bomb's going in from Tony. This is the last chance. This is their last stand. And it's a good one. InFamous. Bomb down. 5 players standing. This could be it for 1337. They could be falling flat in the first half of overtime.
Oh, NTQ shot towards the watchtower, I think it was. No, just behind the container. Does get a kill for himself there. And unfortunately, he spawned 1 second too late. He was probably wanting to spawn in on Zam, I think it was, in the trench, but not quite the right amount of timing. But still, good work being done by NTQ, but he has to get over towards that bomb, and it is ticking away. And it is covered in InFamous play as Tony there does sustain some damage as he leaps out. Oh, there it is. The old ragdoll for you there is always pretty to see. And Zuzu is the last man in his squad for just a moment at least now. David, 2K6 goes down to his rifle, but a double for Smashy right now. This bomb surely is going to go up. It's just air secures the kill. They kill each other. No, it was safe. He got in there. And that should be it. They cannot. Ooh, they can. They can defuse it.
Defuse.
And they did it right in the nick of time.
That was important. That one last spray was Jazair who had it all to do. He needed to get around the corner and kill the diffuser. He was stopped in his tracks by Smashu, and that does conclude our first half of our overtime, which means, of course, it all comes down to that one MCOM destruction. It's all, like, everything riding on these 3 maps. These guys have been playing so much Battlefield 4. We saw Gorman, we saw Dawnbreaker, we saw an entirety of Paracel Storm, and now one MCOM, one plant, one defense determines the entirety of this game.
insane stuff here. And this is what happens now with no MCOM detonation in the first half. This literally becomes a sudden death match. First team to get a detonation will be the winner because, of course, you can't plant faster when there's only one half left. So that's going to be that. And so it changes a lot. So you go, it's funny because you go from like a stopwatch kind of mode to a very different feel in the sudden death. Teams are just gunning for it now. You know, maybe less aware of safety or maybe less aware of being more passive here. These teams are definitely going to be wanting to really start to ramp things up here now in our second half. And I mean, we'd be frustrated to get to this point as a team to have made it into the stopwatch mode, you know, fighting tooth and claw against a team that, by all apparencies, is, you know, of even skill level. And now this is it. It all comes down to this round. The countdown is about to begin. These teams will have to be discussing. Maybe some cheese will come out here. Maybe teams just trying to pull a rabbit out of a hat or just catch the opponent by surprise. Maybe.
You know, I would love that. I would love to have something like that get thrown out. Like a complete cheese strat. Like, I don't know. Oh, excuse me. I don't know what exactly it could be, but something, some sort of like line of smoke, some sort. I mean, we saw the recon drones to come in, but they've been removed now. We don't get to see them anymore.
Yes.
But I mean, that's the kind of level of cheese I'm after. Maybe all going up to the tower and parachuting down with some sort of crazy strategy. I'm thinking airborne.
Sort of like an aged gorgonzola.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, that sounds super cheesy. Yeah, maybe even a camembert on Paracel Storm. Well, I'm intrigued, but still, 15 seconds before we do jump on into this one. And as I said, so much battlefield about to be determined by just this one game. One step out of line, you don't get the frag you normally would, and your team has lost, and this hour has been spent in vain. As we're going to be seeing now who will emerge victorious. The new team, 1337, forged, it seems, to great success, or infamous, the French, who are battling to get just to that higher echelon of Battlefield 4 for ESL 1.
I mean, yes, they're big players in Elite, but untested so far in these cups as a team. It will be a huge result for them to take InFamous out of things in this first round. The veteran Frenchman will definitely be wanting to stand in their way in that regard. And Hysteria moving forward now. Law goes over to his right side. He's able to dodge it behind the container. Going to come forward now and try and put some shots down, but Fearless or Safe is there with the shots. That was able to clear him up. But Jazer makes good on that one though. Comes in, gets the revive and gets the bomb. And InFamous able to walk away at an advantage.
Now, where do you build from here? It's going to be David who's going to be the first man on the scene to deal with that bomb push. Man, doesn't manage to catch Okrema. That could be crucial, as now there's a whole lot of movement, and Jazer is going to be charging straight towards that C. He's making a beeline to C, ironically. And now, I don't think there's too many people in a position to deal with him. There's one man on the beach, and Zam has got a prime spot or not. Zuzu, crucial frag after crucial frag, it seems, for InFamous.
Really nice forward position here from Zuzu. Just throwing a spanner in the works there, and it's going to be that much harder for League to hold on to this one as Jazer sits right on down on that bomb side and delivers the payload. Now time will be ticking down, and remember, this could be it. All you need is one MCOM detonation here, and Tony doing great work here from the periphery, just making some shots, but he will be shut down there. A couple kills coming out here for League.
These are big. One from Smashu, one from Zam. All onto Hysteria then to end it. Not gonna happen. This game ain't over yet, David says as he gets the final frag. And we do continue to see the defuse come in, courtesy of EnterQ. Now, 3.5 minutes on the clock, and both teams still desperate to see one of these mobile commands destroyed.
Moves and counter moves now coming out from both of these sides. But as you said, David getting some good work done there as well. And a lot of frags coming out. InFamous actually being gunned down in their own territory right now. This could be quite nasty for them now. As you can see, they're just jumping on into those trenches. And they're completely wiping them out. That was a squad wipe. That is a big, big play. I was just kind of shocked at how quickly that one happened there. Look at that, InFamous wipe clean off the map.
Wow, I blink and I miss it. Yep. We're going to be seeing them 1337 bite back harder, as that's going to be not only a squad wipe, but with the bomb down, that's going to force all their respawns to be coming from a distance from that southern ender of the map. And then it comes down to the retake. 3 members left for InFamous as the early frags are coming in. Unfortunately, Kremer does have his paddles. Oh no! Cost him his life. Zam does get a crucial frag. And again, Smashu is going to go down as well. They are trading frags left and right. And these next few frags mean everything for these players to advance in our first cup.
This could go horribly wrong right now for InFamous. You can see Hysteria trying to make his way over. Time is ticking down. There isn't a lot left. There are still players on the map here. This could be a just jump into the trench. Just try and stop this one. Surely you could do something about it there. Smasher gets away, but there's the MCOM detonation. And that is that. Elite have made it through to the next round.
And that, my friends, is exciting. 1337 knocking InFamous out straight away. Just like that. I say just like that. That was a grind for those teams. I mean, forgetting the amount of times we thought that was over, finally we have an answer to the question who can prevail. InFamous or 1337 or Leaked. I think we're going to have to call them Leaked from now on because I'm gonna mess up 1337.
Syllables, man.
Too many syllables, far too many. But I mean, we have a victor, and it feels like we got super hyped for that. I felt like the kind of adrenaline raising for the first round of this cup. That could be a good sign of things to come.
And it's so funny because I sat there watching it just after David got the defuse and they pushed, and then they squad wiped InFamous right at the end. I was just like, did that just happen?
It did.
Like, it just,
it really,
it's funny because InFamous held so well for so long and then got completely butchered in the final seconds, stumbling at the finish line as well. Must be frustrating for them as well as a team who often comes quite close to achieving these big victories and can fall by the wayside at the most crucial of times. But Leak, the mixed team of a few veteran players, has prevailed in this one, and we're moving to the next round.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty soon, I think, because, of course, that game took so long. We're not going to have too long of a break, so do be sure to stay tuned for the next one.